Was there any murmurings at all from the agent at all? You never got a call about it?
No, I never thought about that. And I thought, well, surely they could have found me something in Harry Potter.
Brian, good to meet you, sir. Big fan of Lord of the Rings, great big fan of yours, so indulge me if I may as we start. Every time I see interviews with you these days, people want to talk about Logan Roy, which is fine, but it neglects the greatest show ever made, Sharp, great Turds adaptation, Rushmore, originating Hannibal Lecter with Manhunter. And I wondered, in the age of like streaming and rediscovery, is there any role or piece of work that you've been involved in that you kind of wish people would rediscover and talk to you about now?
Oh my God, that's a big one. I think there are a few. There is a series I did in the late 70s called The Devil's Crown, and it was a series about Henry II and subsequently King John, and then Richard the Lionheart, and about those three kings was the wonderful. And I played Henry II, and Jane Lafertere, a wonderful actress, fantastic actress, played Eleanor of Aquitaine, and that was a show that I would have loved to have seen sometime.
Lovely stuff. I don't think I've seen it. Was it at all like the Hollow Crown that she did?
Yeah, it's sort of probably a version of it. But it was interesting because it was something new in television. It was, perhaps not all successful, but it was the fact that every set was inside. So when you literally move from one set to another. So you could actually see them going from one set to another, and it was a bold move. I don't think they continued it through the whole of the series, alas, but it was a visual experiment.
Almost like theatre on TV.
Yeah, exactly. But emblematic and subtle as well. Yeah.
Don't they understand? I lost a friend. For 40 days and nights when they told me at Argentan, I couldn't eat. I wouldn't speak. God grant you never to know the torment of an action you can't call back. If only I had not. If only I had not. If only.
Awesome, I'll check that out myself.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Lord of the Rings. I'm a massive, massive fan of Lord of the Rings. My mum gave me the single volume when I was around 10, just before like the films came out. I remember reading through and being completely like swept away with it all. When I looked at those movies back then, you just come off the back of Braveheart, Rob Roy, you were handy with a horse and a sword. Was there any murmurings at all from the agent at all? You never got a call about it?
No, I never thought about that. I did all those things before, Actually, subsequently, since Ironclad, I did a lot of horse riding and sword.
Oh, with James Purefoy.
Yeah. I did a lot of sword weaving in that. No, I mean, I don't know. I've always been open for that. And it's like, for instance, I was never in Harry Potter. I mean, never, there's never a kind of... And I thought, well, surely they could have found me something in Harry Potter.
There's probably a short list of kind of some of Britain's finest actors of that generation that probably could get together and go, why weren't we in all these
absolutely. I think there's more than a few.
Well, it's happened now. Thank goodness. I'm a big fan of this. I love the kind of the new take and the anime aspect of the kind of Tolkien oeuvre.
Well, I think that's the genius of this film. I mean, we do the voices, and of course they're great parts, and of course I come from a radio tradition, so as I say, that's wonderful. That's kind of mother's milk to me. I love that, I absolutely love it, and it's a great role, and it's a great piece of work to be part of.
And a quick word on Helm, Hammerhand himself. He makes Logan look like a flower girl. Really,
yeah,
he's a very he's
well,
a
Logan
hard
probably was one of his flower girls. He's old enough.
You do not seek an alliance. You seek a throne.
You will live to regret this, old man. He's dead?
How was he as a character? Did you still feel, obviously, so experienced on stage and on screen, but when you do something in animation, does he still feel like a part of Brian?
Well, it's like when you're creating radio, you do exactly the same thing. You create the man you are, and I think there was a great deal of... I suppose one of my images for Helm was a young, and I emphasize young, King Lear. You know, King Lear before he had more than one daughter to contend with. He had 3. You know, and that was the sort of image I had of him. Actually, and that his physical image is for me, a very Lear-like image. You know. So I really, you know, that was something that was very strong for me.
Well, I think the whole thing is very strong. I'm hoping, as a big Tolkien fan, Lord of the Rings fan, that it's the start of kind of an expansion of these stories in this world that can be done in interesting and new ways.
Well, I think this is the original thing about it, is the style now. It's a new style. It's a brand new style, and I think it's a style that, you know, will be shown and copied in many ways. But it's so original. And they have it. It's part of a tradition, you know. It's part of the Japanese tradition in terms of graphography, you know, just the whole thing. And it's now at its zenith, I think.
Well, I'm sure tons of people are going to see it, and it's been a pleasure to meet you today, sir. And The Devil's Crown.
The Devil's Crown.
A Google and check that out and rediscover it.
Yeah.
An absolute pleasure to have a lovely Christmas
and
a Happy New Year. It's that time now, isn't it?
Oh, God.
Yeah, get ready for that. Cheers, bud.
All the best.